favorite people, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, I am your girl Tiara Griffin. I am your life builder, here to help you create the life that you love while remaining totally submitted unto Jesus Christ, helping you to tear up, build up so that you can live it up. Okay, so I am excited about our video for today. I will be doing a story time of the time disobedience almost cost me my life. So, isn't it funny how when we're going through things in life and when we're at our worst or at the bottom, that we call upon God. But when everything's going all right, when we're happy, when we're getting everything that we want, we don't call on him or we don't know his name anymore. Isn't it funny how we can be disobedient and not worthy of God saving our lives or sparing us, but yet he does? Those are the things that I kind of find funny, and some of the things that I really like to work on, will need to work on, as far as when everything is going good, to always seek him, to always invite him into my life and into every situation. And we kind of forget God when everything's going good. But every time I think of the goodness of the Lord, every time I dwell on all the things that he's done for me, what really makes me cry is the time when I didn't deserve it. The time when I almost lost my life, and when Praise and Worship sings this song, Travis Green, You Made a Way, and I'm standing here because you made a way. I know how, but you did it. Don't know how, but you did it, and I don't know why, but I'm grateful. Don't know why, no one knows. Oh, no. Keep on. Don't know why, but I'm grateful. Woo! You made a way. Hey. I know that I'm only alive. I know that I'm only still operating in purpose. I know that I'm only still seeking and loving God the way that I do is because he made a way. And one thing that I can say that I pray touches your heart is to remind you that we owe God everything. There's nothing we could do to ever repay him for anything that he has done for us, but I know that I owe God everything. I owe God my life. I owe God everything, because the very breath that I breathe is because of him. I'm sorry that I went on a tangent, but let me get into the story time. So back in 2010, I was in college. I was a sophomore or about to be junior, and it was during final exams week, and we came home for the break. I believe it was a holiday break sometime between October and November. And I went to school to USC Upstate. Shout out to my alumni. And I had a particular friend that my mom told me not to spend too much time with. My mom told me that she wasn't a good friend for me and that I should not basically have her in my company. But as a teenager, I know everything and nobody can tell me nothing. I was in a deep state of rebellion, and I didn't want to hear anything my mom had to say. I felt like my mom was out of date, expired, so her advice, didn't have anything to do with my life. Like, I got this, mom, was my mindset. At the time, I had just met this new guy that I was dealing with, new relationship. And I really was deeply in love with this guy. And I remember before I went to school, my mom, this was during the time where it gets darker earlier. So she told me, if you're going back to school today, Tiara, you have to leave at a decent time because I don't want you out on the streets and it's after a certain time. And I was just like, okay, mom, whatever. But before I left, I had to go see my mans. Like, I had to go see my boo, my baby, whatever you want to call them. I had to go see my babes. And my bae, this time of day, that's what we call them now. I had to go see my bae. And I went to go see him. And I was supposed to leave at 5 because it was a 3-hour trip. But I think by this time, instead of going on the road, I went to go see him. It was like 4 or 3. We were probably smoking. Well, I wasn't smoking at that time, but you know, we did involve in sexual activity. Like, we were getting it on, and just all in his face, his presence. I just wanted to be around him because I loved him so much. So, you know, having sex and doing whatever else we were doing. So then I had to go get this young lady, and she couldn't leave to a certain time. So I was kind of like trying to waste time to wait for her. So I finally go pick her up. By the time I pick her up, it's like 7 o'clock. Like, it's about to get dark now. And I was just like, girl, I'm outside. You need to come home because I got to get back to school. Or we got to get back to school because we go to the same school. So, girl, come on. We got to go. End up getting in the car, start driving. We blasting music. Everything's popping. Everything's going good. Matter of fact, let me rewind the story. The night before, my mom's friend was at the house, and he was like, you need to get your tire fixed here because you can get into a really bad car accident like that. Like, my rim was dented. Like, my wheel or something was dented on my driver's side. It was dented. And I was just like, all right, well, I can't get that done today because, one, I don't got no money. I'm a poor college student, and I just got to get back to school. And we were also having a conversation that night about we never had a near-death experience. Like, God has never, like, we've never almost died, and God saved us. So I was just like, yeah, I've never had a near-death experience. Like, you know, whatever. It's not that serious. This is how when I was also not rebellious to my mother, but I was also rebellious towards God. Because I was church hurt, and I was still dealing with the lingering feelings of my church closing down, and then my pastor, or whatever the case may be. Like, I was still dealing with that kind of heavy, so I wasn't worshiping God, praying to God. I wasn't spending no time with God. I really didn't want anything to do with God. I wanted to live my best life, and I felt like I could live my best life without him. So, long story short, yeah, I never had a near-death experience, near-death life experience. My tire is dented. I need to get my rim fixed before I get on the road, but it's Sunday night or Saturday night, and I got to get back to school, and I had to go see my boyfriend, and I had to go pick up my homegirl because this is what we were going to do. So, end up picking her up. We started driving, and she would not put her seatbelt on. And I am a very devout believer in seatbelts, and seatbelts save lives. So, South Carolina, I'm shouting you up. I'll be your ambassador for, you know, seatbelts save lives. And so she was in the car, and I was like, girl, put your seatbelt on. And she was just like, okay, Tierra. I was like, all right. So we keep driving. Again, girl, put your seatbelt on. And she was just like, okay, Tierra, okay. We keep driving. And I was like, yo, put your seatbelt on. She finally kicked the seatbelt, put the seatbelt on, and I swear to you, not 30 seconds later, or maybe like a minute or two later, I saw this deer on the side of the road, and I was like, oh my God, a deer. And I think it was coming out of whatever it was about to do, but I turned my wheel to avoid hitting the deer, and I flipped my car 5 times. Not only did I flip my car 5 times, but we were upside down facing oncoming traffic. Basically, I was upside down, and if I opened my eyes, I could see the cars coming towards me. Every time I tell a story, like, I get super emotional because at the end of the day, God didn't have to save me. But yet he did. And it wasn't because of anything that I did, because I wasn't living right. I wasn't doing the God thing. I wasn't serving him. I wasn't doing anything. I was playing church and going to church, but like no real impact was being made. But yet he decided to spare my life. And so we're driving, and I flipped my car, and I was upside down facing oncoming traffic. But the wonderful thing about this story is, although cars were coming towards us, no car hit us. Like, no car hit us. Cars, I don't even know how cars seen us, because if you know, driving to Spartanburg, there's no lights on the highways. So there's no lights on no highways, but like we're going into like a very country part of the United States of America. And Nobody could see us. Like, there's no way cars could see us unless they got close to us. And having to get that close to us and being able to, like, bear off or get over would have been a catastrophe, but no car hit us. The car behind us ended up getting out, and I'll tell you that part in a minute. But she hit the deer, and the deer ended up doing whatever the deer did. And when I came to, matter of fact, when I was flipping, I remember hearing myself say, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God." And that's like I was saying at the beginning of the story, it's amazing how when everything is going bad and we feel like we're in a very horrible situation, how we end up calling on God. Like, I ain't called on God in I don't know how long, but in this moment, because that's what was in me, because I was raised in church. I knew no matter what is going on in your life, you always call on Jesus, God, whatever. I needed God at this moment. I was like, oh God, because it felt like I was in a washing machine. But when I came to, I was like, oh my God, like, what just happened? Like, death can happen in a moment. Like, death has no name. It has no age limit on it. Like, if it comes for you, it's coming for you. But God said, no, not yet. So when I came to, the girl who was in the car with me, my best friend at the time, I thought she was dead. Like, she was not moving. I was like, yo, so many different things in the story. I was like, yo, you gotta get up. So I'm hitting her and she doesn't move. And I'm like, oh God, I done killed this girl's daughter. Why didn't I listen to my mama? And my mama told me to go back to school. I should have listened to her. And this is a key point right here. Submit to those that are in authority over you. I don't care how old you are. If there's somebody over you that's trying to give you good advice to help your life and to save your life and to spare your life and to help you become all that God wants you to be, submit to it. We cannot live in a state of rebellion. And I know in this generation, in this time, we are a very rebellious generation. And we're the generation of you can't tell us nothing. Let me know how far that gets you. Okay. So she finally gets up. When we realize what's happened, the pair of scissors that was in my glove compartment was outside of the car. And it was on top. It didn't go in her head, but it was like laying on top of her head. God spared her life too, because it could, like, the car accident couldn't have killed her. It probably wouldn't have. But that pair of scissors, if it went down deep enough, she would have been dead. And that would have been on me. Why? It all stems from disobedience. But when I finally get up and realize, and I got her up, they're trying to help me in the car. I'm like, yo, I can get out the car. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. There's no broken bones. I'm good. I'm a G. Like, your adrenaline is pumping. I'm like, I'm good. There's nothing wrong with me. So I slide out the car. And it's funny because I remember the story in that moment of how I've heard a lot of stories of people getting in car accidents and there's no broken bones and there's no scratches on them. I got out the car and I believe I had, like, to this day, I have like one scar from my car accident. I don't know if you can see it right here. That's the only thing I got out of my car with. The only scar, no broken bones, nothing. I was perfectly fine in that moment. I slid out the car. They got her out the car, and it was less like, we got to get you to the hospital. No, I'm good. I'm just going to go ahead and go back to school. We don't need to go to the hospital because I feel like my mom is going to kill me. Okay, like, my mom is going to kill me if she realizes what just happened. And lady was like, your mom's going to be just happy that your life is spared. Like, your mom isn't going to be upset. I was like, you don't know my mom. Especially after she has told me what to do and I was disobedient. You don't know my mom. Like, she's going to be happy that my life is spared, but she's going to be upset because, one, I got into a car accident because I, 1, 2, left late, and 3, I have a young lady in the car that I should not have had in the car. Was my mom could be upset. So I was just like, yo, we can't go to the hospital because they're going to try to file a report. And I can't put her name on the report because then my mom will go, no, that I had her in the car. Not only that, I wanted to lie to my mom because I was supposed to be driving back to school with 3 other people, and the 3 other people I was supposed to drive back with wasn't even in the car. And I was trying to find out a way to get them on the police report. But I was just like, yo, I cannot lie about this. So my mom was like, well, how's everybody doing? And I was just like, yo, I named up 3 other people. Oh, everybody's fine. Everything's good. Da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's good. Yeah, she's good. We're all just, at the hospital. I was like, yo, can't lie to my mom. From disobedience, I created a lie. I wanted to cover something up, and it almost cost me my life. Disobedience. The spirit of disobedience comes with a whole lot of other spirits. It doesn't come by itself. It comes with a whole lot of other things. So I got to the hospital. I was like, yo, I can't lie to my mom. I got to call my mom. I got to let her know that they weren't in the car. But actually, the young lady that she told me not to hang with, she's actually in the car with me. And so we go. I called. I was like, Mom, I lied. I lied to you. So-and-so wasn't in the car. It was actually her. Mom was just like, why would you lie about something? Like, at this moment, Mom, I'm traumatized, okay? Like, my car just flipped 5 times. Like, I'm really happy that I have my life. Like, this is not the time to be going on about this, that, and the third. So, she was very, very, very upset. And the next day, she came up to call. It was Thanksgiving because my aunt makes bomb pies. Shout out to Auntie K's Pies. And my pies were destroyed in the car accident. Like, listen, y'all. Listen, Linda, okay? Those pies were bomb, and I had my mouth fixed for those pies. It was after Thanksgiving break. I had my mouth fixed for those pies, and they got destroyed in the car accident. Telling you. The Lord, you could have saved the pies. Lord, you could have saved the pies, but no, for real. So, yeah, so I wanted to make that clear. It was Thanksgiving break. So, I leave the hospital. We go back to our apartment. Listen, the next day, my body's in like crazy pain. And my mom and my aunt ended up coming up there to check on me, make sure everything was okay. And of course, we were okay. So we went down to the car lot because we had some stuff, like the junkyard, because we had some stuff in the car. Like, my car was totaled. When we got there, the car side that the young lady was in was completely, like, cars like this, or cars like this, but her side was like smashed in. I thank God that her seat was all the way back, because had not, this girl would not have been here. And the lady who was the one that killed the deer behind me, she said, yo, I thought y'all, well, she didn't say yo, she was just like, I thought for sure y'all were dead. The way that your car flipped over, I'm surprised that y'all are not dead. I was just like, you surprised, ma'am. We surprised too, And but yeah, the next day we went to see the car. The car was completely dented in, and I just started crying because I'm still here. Like, I never had a near-death life experience. I spoke that into the atmosphere. Here we are, and I was like, God, I'll live for you now. Jesus, I love you. I knew for sure if I died, I was going to hell. I know for 10 facts, 10 facts. I would have been burning for eternity. But God was like, God sometimes, I'm not saying this for every situation, but God sometimes will spare our lives for the simple fact of there's purpose that we still have to do. And I honestly believe that my life and what God wanted me to do had more impact than my life not being here. I believe that God spared my life because it was purpose. And after my life was spared, although I didn't get it right, and although I didn't start living for him seriously until like a couple of years ago, and that was in 2010, so that was 8 years ago, I was like, the reason why God saved me, because I am a problem. And enemy, Satan, you try to kill me? Oh, you should have killed me when you had the chance, because now I'm an even greater problem and an even greater threat to the kingdom of darkness. I came to be a problem. I came to stir up the world so that we can come back to Christ like never before. So I know that there was a reason for me still being here, because I still had things to do. But what really troubled me after my car accident, we ended up coming back home for Christmas break, and another young lady that I was in a pageant with, we were in traffic coming back home because my mom had to come and get me, of course, because I didn't have no car. And we were driving, and we saw this really bad car accident. And when I got back home, I realized it was one of my companions from my pageant, and she died. And I questioned God for a long time, like, God, how come I lived and she died? Like, what are the qualifications for someone's life to be spared? Like, why did you save my life? You know what I'm saying? Like, why me? And so that troubled me for a very, 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 very long time. But I stopped asking why me and just started thanking God that I still had my life and that I still had a chance to get it right and be, my relationship to be made right with him. So that is the story. But in all of that, I realized that God is a keeper and that anything can happen and life is so short and tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. That's why we have to live our life to the complete fullest. But the fact that he spared me, not only once when he sent Jesus to save my life when I didn't even know I was in trouble, but the second time when he spared my life, even in the midst of my sin, God said, no, you shall live. And that story and that testimony tears me up every time because my disobedience almost cost me my life. Like, God didn't kill me. And no, God could not, he didn't have to spare me. But God saw the end from the beginning, and he saw that one day I would be here testifying to you. He saw that one day I'd be here ministering to you and helping you come back to him. He knew that my life would mean more for me having breath in my body than me being 6 feet under. He knew my time was not over yet, and I thank him for sparing my life. So that is my story for today. I pray that touched you. I pray that I gave you some really good pointers, especially to submit to those that are in authority over you, and how disobedience comes with so much, or rebellion comes with, the spirit of rebellion comes with so many things attached to it. Disobedience, lying, trying to cover things up, deceit, manipulation, and it's not what God wants for you. And he will spare your life. Like, I learned that God is a keeper, but one thing I also learned was never to test God. Never test God. So I appreciate you for coming today and listening to the story time. I pray that it impacts you. I pray that it touched you in some way and you reflect over your own life and begin to give God glory and praise, because what you made it out of, so many people didn't make it out of. So thank you, Lord, for keeping us and sparing our life. So have a great day. See you next week.